Reginald!
By the nine, Archibald.
Shut the hell up and...
I beg your pardon? You know, I am tired of you treating me like I'm
buffed
some sort
Skyburners.
of... I beg your pardon?
They buffed Skyburner's oath!
Oh my god.
Yes!
Oh my god.
Yes! To my dynamic duo, Reginald. What hath God wrought upon this heathen world? What nightmarish horror we are seeing being birthed even in our timeline? Reginald, after 5 long years, the designers of the Sandbox have finally succumbed to our persuasions! And all it took was a few Guardians held at slap point, an enormous amount of subliminal messaging, and of course, the 17 feral raccoons released into Bungie Studios. Reginald, my partner in off-meta crimes, we live in a world where Stompies are being nerfed, Skyburner's oath is being buffed, and special ammo abuse is being put down like Old Yeller. And it's all thanks to us. My god, we have so much to do! So many new ways of causing 5 stages of grief. Of course, we aren't capable of inflicting these torments on our enemies. Yet. But we should prepare. To this end, I have pieced together a build using the Prometheus Lens, which could be preposterous in the next season. But even now, with the right build, can serve as an extra large size ability spamming combo meal. In other words, this letter shall serve as a research thesis and a starting point for next season, yet will still serve as a means of enhancing your current experience until then. Allow me to quickly regale the appropriate changes for this setup before I conjecture further. First, our emissaries have revealed that Solar 3.0 is the likely candidate to get the facelift with the next season. In other words, all of this void nonsense we are dealing with now, picture it orange and cover it in hot sauce. It's likely the keyword system for void will be modeled in the solar system. While we may postulate as to the exact lexicon of this new system, 2 operating words are absolutely certain: burns and healings. This is further evidenced by the support from the wall of text of a TWAB we received, which included the word burn 6 times. Clearly, it is on their mind as a key component in the orange-colored ass-kicking we will be dishing out. Trust me, Reginald, my mind is full to the point of bursting even trying to digest this massive changelog. But for our purposes, we shall focus on both Skyburners and the Prometheus Lens, as both shall officially deal burn damage with the new update. My research into what would eventually be an ability-regenerating horror show to my enemies started with Jotun. My reason for this came from the synergies we had already found with it, with the Dawn Chorus from Warlocks and the Sunspot generation on Titans. The former of these logically makes sense, as the Jotun does indeed cause an area to burn where it landed, yet the latter only caused me to want to take out my confused anger on the nearest shotgun ape with rusty spoons! To avoid yet another episode of Destiny's Most Wanted, I elected to focus on Warlock. With the Dawn Chorus, all kills from Jotun caused a chain reaction-like explosion. This explosion can damage other targets and regenerate a small portion of your melee energy. But the problem with this build is that it lacks a true endgame. Jotun is, of course, hilarious in the right hands, as you can hear the distant sounds of panic as that solar key blast comes screaming towards them and wrapping around 90-degree corners. But the synergy stops there. A few kills with extra splash damage and a pocket-lint amount of melee energy? Bollocks! The next idea was to become a one-man mortar strike squad, with the Prometheum Spurs and the Skyburners. Prometheum Spurs grants rift energy for every solar kill I achieve. Running this with the hipfire of the Skyburner's oath grants me the ability to orbital bombard enemies from the safety of cover. Of course, you knew the problem with this loadout as I did right from the onset. Candidly put, while I adore the suppressive fire nature of a damage-buffed Skyburners, the Skyburners' number one problem is that it is Skyburners. I am often better off dropping the magazine and hurling the bullets by hand rather than firing them out of this thing. I decided from here that the tests with this weapon should be best saved for when the buffs finally bless us. Perhaps, I pondered to myself, it isn't the Warlock's time to bring forth the biblical levels of fire to the Crucible. Rather, what if this divine right belongs to the Hunters? Indeed, the community is well aware of the hidden synergies of blade barrage and burn effects, and perhaps even as a sign from the Bungie Sandbox team themselves, Xur sold Prometheus Lens. This notorious beam of focused flame has seen both its ups and downs, and truly, Reginald, it is currently on the down. Yet, much like a toxic player needing personal validation for their horribly mismanaged time spent on the game, I need the Prometheus Lens for its burn. This is truly where I discovered something quite devilish about this weapon and its synergies with a little-known exotic called bombardiers. You may not be aware, but any source of burn damage will trigger the Blade Barrage subclass tree's Burning Edge, and sometimes the Playing with Fire passive. In case you need a reminder as to what this egregiously neglected subclass does with those passives, every burn you apply will trigger a recharge on your dodge energy, and kills on burning enemies will grant knife energy. The Prometheus Lens deals burn as part of its exotic perk. Thus, every time you fire at a target with this weapon, all of your abilities regenerate slightly. How is it all, you ask? Well, my less intellectually endowed comrade, not only do we get the obvious dodge regeneration and knife regeneration, but that dodge we can use with a bomber mod on our class item to refund the portion of grenade energy with every single use. And if we equip the incinerary grenade, every single source of damage grants us all of our abilities back! But why stop there, I ask myself rhetorically. Why not make even my class ability into an ability regenerating weapon? And thus came the bombardiers. Whenever a target is caught in the habanero flavored blast, they burn. And if it burns, I can kill it and regenerate my abilities off of it. But then came a problem. Bombardiers are terrible. Their explosion is too small and their damage is too low to ever warrant their use over almost every other hunter exotic. I said almost. Calm down, Lucky Raspberry. Truly, these pants are more disappointing than an empty burrito, but this did pique my interest in the class. With the upcoming changes to it, what are its limits in the current sandbox we can take to probe into the next sandbox? Interestingly, when returning to Jotun, I found that kills with the Orange Justice Seeker will grant the Playing with Fire passive, regenerating my melee but not my dodge, even if the shot only grazed them and they persisted in the Jotun's burn for a few seconds. It is here that I also learned the limitations of this class. We need to make sure that the Sandbox Changes drop that somebody does something about this melee. The fan of knives is less consistent than a McDonald's Wi-Fi in a third world country. I propose we make the regular melees deal burn damage from a fragment. But even despite these drawbacks, a near permanent dodge uptime is too audacious of an idea to abandon. Allow me to introduce Wormhusk Crown. This exotic will not only see a massive spike in usage with the coming nerf to Stompies, but it also received 0 changes in the TWAB. We may be on the cusp of the next meta as we know it. Assuming the dodge regenerative properties persist through the change, running the Wormhusk Crown with any weapon that causes a burn will allow every engagement to give us a healing dodge back. Worse still for the unfortunate slobs who dare to oppose us, we may be able to get one of these dodges twice in a single fight. For now, you may find some practice with this intoxicating idea with the Prometheus Lens. Yet I know I will be the first to combine this feedback loop of unkillable hunter ass-kickings with the Skyburner's Oath. That is assuming we don't discover something even more devilish by then. Now, if only I could get this Prometheus Lens to look a little more like a laser beam and a little bit less like the surface of the sun, and I would be off to the races! Signed, Archibald Multitool the 7th.
Alright, go ahead and join up on us, Lux. Ooh, that's a... I don't have that Prometheus Lens ornament in my options. It looks like the Pepsi logo on the side. Why is there a Pepsi logo on the side of your gun?